Welcome to the Chaos Commanders podcast. I'm Annie, aka Commander A, military wife, mom of two, and seasoned in navigating deployments, juggling schedules, and life's unpredictable missions.
And I'm Katelynn, aka Commander K, solo mom to a busy, neurodivergent teenage boy, business owner, and skilled chaos wrangler.
We're here for the moms who do it all, the sideline CEOs, the late night warriors, the women leading in their homes, businesses, and beyond.
If you've ever felt like you're running a tactical operation just to get through the day, this is the place for you. We're bringing raw, unfiltered conversations, honest insights, and tangible strategies to help you command the chaos like the Wonder Woman you are.
So grab your coffee, wine, or whatever keeps you going, because we're diving in.
Marco
Polo.
It kind of sounds like we're on a hike with our kids.
This is what we do when we're on a hike with our kids. We let them take off ahead of us, and then when they get just like a little too far that we can't see them, we shout out a little Marco, and they have to respond Polo.
Sometimes strangers even join in.
They do. It's pretty hysterical.
It is. But that is not the Marco Polo that we're talking about today, is it, Annie?
No, it is not. We are going to talk about Marco Polo, the app. And if you've never used it, it will change the dynamic of how you stay connected with your community, whether you are in town with them or they live long distance. It has been a whole new world for me.
Yeah, for sure. So before we get to the meat and potatoes of Marco Polo and how much Annie loves it, what's the Annie update?
I learned how to take spray paint off of a car.
You did not.
I did. That was a really, really special moment where my son thought that a vehicle needed a lovely shade of blue spray paint. And if you are dying to know the proper technique of removing spray paint from a car, WD-40. That is your best friend.
This is very helpful information to know when you're in a crisis.
Now you know that spray paint, while it is supposed to be permanent, can be removed if you treat it quickly enough.
Okay, so stay on top of it. Luckily, he tattled on himself
rather quickly, praise be. Probably did not respond the way I should have. There was a lot of anxiety.
I mean, he still lives in your house, right?
He's still alive. He's still alive and breathing. And we all learned an important lesson. Many important lessons this weekend.
Yes, I would say so. But all is good. The kiddo is alive. Mom is hanging in there.
Hanging in there. We're all unscathed.
Yes. And the
car looks brand new.
Yes, back to its original color.
Brand new. A detailed job. So, yeah, if you're looking for a detailed job, have your kids spray paint your car.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. What is the Katelynn currently?
Well, okay, so we talked about my mom was moving. And so as of this episode, she has moved out and we are adjusting to, she was kind of, dog grandma. And so she took care of all of the dog routines, and we have a very spoiled dog who has to have homemade dog food and homemade.
I can't believe you guys do that.
I know.
But so it's awesome. So good for you. Yes. I should probably be a better dog mom and make my dog food too.
I mean, to be fair, our big dog eats regular dog food, but the little one, she's a Shih Tzu and she has a very sensitive stomach. And so a lot of this was to help ourselves from having to clean up lots of dog messes, right?
Yeah. Well, yes.
So there is that. But yeah, grandma was great about, she didn't have anything else really to do during the day when kiddo was at school and I was at work. So she figured out that the little dog could handle homemade dog food. And I know you've giggled a few times when we were like, what's your mom doing for dinner? I'm like, oh, she's just eating dog food with Hazel. I will not be eating dog food with Hazel, but she will still get her homemade dog food. So,
doggy.
Yes. So I've been adjusting to that and rearranging some things since grandma moved out of the house, and it's a lot quieter there. The news is not on 24 hours a day, so that's different. Just adjusting, really. Nothing crazy in that area of life, but we are adjusting to homeschool. We've kind of eased our way in, and so this week is the first week where we're really hitting it hard. I start my new full-time job tomorrow, And the kiddo starts his full-time homeschooling tomorrow.
Lots of adjusting this
Yes.
coming week.
So whenever we're asking, what do you want to hear about on the show? If anybody needs homeschooling while trying to work from home tips, we can give some of those. I guess we can do an episode about that. So that's the update that I have for the week. I know that we're going to have a what's my ... segment every week. And so right now we're talking about snacks. So
I love snacks.
What's your snack?
What's my snack? Well, I'm not really eating anything, but I'm addicted and I love liquid death, which sounds terrifying, but it's not. Liquid death is water. It's water in a can.
I never would have guessed.
Right? And when you look at it, it looks like a boozy bevy, and it's super not. You can get mountain water. You can get also flavored water. I love the cherry obituary. So cherry obituary liquid death is my snack today.
Okay. Yeah, that's a super scary sounding snack of the week. Do the bottles have like an explanation for like the branding?
I think it's just a huge marketing thing where at the bottom of the can it says kills your thirst.
Okay, gotcha. You know, like the marketing branding in me is like, what is the reasoning behind this? Why are you trying to scare us?
Yeah, my sister introduced it to us at Christmas time, and like I was trying not to like drink a ton during the holidays, and I was like, what is this? And she's like, it's just water. I was like, yeah, right. And she's like, no, it's just water.
Interesting. Well, they're definitely killing it with the branding.
They are, which is funny because I like took it a step further, and that was just like plain water. Mm-hmm. And then I like ventured out and I realized they had flavors. And so I was talking to my sister the other day and I'm like, have you tried these different flavors? She's like, I didn't even know they had flavors.
Wow. Okay, well, I'll have to give it a try.
I walk around with a scary beverage and people kind of give me the side eye, but
yeah, they probably think you're just like
boozing on the streets.
Yeah, drunk mom all the time. Right. She's not, I promise. Okay, so I am not as creative in the snack department as I have said before, but my go-to right now is the Holy Guacamole Minis, the spicy version.
Ooh, I'm out on that one.
Yeah.
But I love that for you.
And what's funny, so Katelynn is half Mexican, and you would think that, I mean, he loves spicy things. Kid was trying to do the one chip challenge, which has like killed people before. And the other day, he's like, hey, Mom, can I try some spicy guacamole dip? And I'm like, sure. And he takes a couple bites and he's like, how are you even surviving this? Like, that is super spicy. And I mean, I'll have it with either tortilla chips or potato chips or vegetables. But yeah, I did not expect him to think that it was super, super spicy.
That's so funny.
I mean, he loves hot candies, you know, like spicy candies or I don't know, just different things like that. He always wants to like have the hottest things.
It just hit different.
So anyway, that's my snack.
Wow. We are going to move on to more about the Marco Polo app. And I was introduced to it by my friend Lindsay. Well, it's our mutual friend. Lindsay lives here in town. Our kids went to martial arts together. And we are always like, hey, let's get together. Except that like rarely happens as a mom, right? Like you have to plan it on your calendar and then you have to have a backup date and a backup date because life. And so one day we were texting back and forth and Lindsay's like, I cannot keep texting with you because I have this thing going on, but you need to get the Marco Polo app. It's going to change your world. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, okay, like I guess I'll bite. So I got the app and it's a little bit intimidating at first because you record a video of yourself talking. Super uncomfortable, right?
Yes, very uncomfortable. I was not a fan when I first tried it. I'm still trying to become a fan.
But I have to say, like, once you just embrace the fact that you don't have to look put together, like, they can be looking at your nostrils and it's fine. I would probably never use this with somebody I didn't really know, but it's been really great. Like, she will record in her car and I can listen to it whenever I'm free to listen to it. Or sometimes I can be live watching while she's recording, and there's this great feature where you can like live text, which please be careful doing that if you know your person is driving, because they're supposed to be paying attention to the road and we don't want to cause an accident. But there has been moments where it's been really helpful, like if she's sitting in her living room talking and I happen to be free and I can be like, oh, I have a question about this. But it's just great. It's like there's something to be able to connect with your people, seeing their face. Like text is different, and we can't always FaceTime at the same time. We can't even have a phone call at the same time sometimes. But this is just one of those things where it's like the best of all the worlds. And currently I've got two really great friends, one that lives in Indianapolis area and one that lives in South Carolina. My friend Ricky's in South Carolina. Alex is in Indianapolis area. And I had gotten Ricky to jump on board not that long ago. And she was even like, this is weird. I don't know about this, Annie. But then she was like, a few days later, telling me like, this is completely changing everything. Like I don't feel so far away. And then she got Alex to jump on. And so now we have a group Marco Polo, and that has been hysterical because now we're starting a Marco Polo book club.
I love that. I'm a huge fan of book clubs and reading. And I mean, you are too. You are a big reader. Even though I haven't totally bought into Marco Polo yet, I'm loving the creative ways that you are figuring out how to use it to connect with different people. And one of the things that you and I have talked about, which I know you touched on a little bit already, is just the fact that it can be used to keep in touch with people who are long distance, but then also distance doesn't have to be a factor, because we all know that as moms, we all have different schedules. We have kids with different activities. We sometimes have friends that are in just different phases of life than we are.
Right.
And so sometimes it might be that we have a friend who hasn't even had kids yet, but we are still really close with them, or at least we want to still be close with them. But it just makes it really hard for us to find the time to have those face-to-face times that we spend together, or have a phone call even. Gone are the days where you just call someone up and they have time to chat, right?
Well, it's almost an insult sometimes, like, right? Couldn't this have just been a text?
Exactly.
Like, we live in such a instant gratification world where we can't be bothered, right?
Yes. So that's just not something that you do anymore, just calling people out of the blue. And so, yeah, everything has to be scheduled. So like, the idea of just being able to send this message and it just kind of lives out there until the other person is able to watch it and listen to it is really convenient. And I think it really helps with the connection, because we all sit there thinking, man, I'd really like to touch base with this person. I really wonder what is going on in their life. But you just know that like the likelihood of the two of you connecting is just, it's a struggle.
Well, and it's like, so Ricky, she just moved a year ago and she doesn't have a strong community where she's at. Not that she hasn't tried, but it just, it's hard. It's hard to find community in new places.
Right.
And this is a way for her to still be connected to her community. Yep. And that's so important. Like, like you have your dearest friend. I mean, just the other day, I was like having a little bit of an emotional breakdown, and it happened on Marco Polo. And I was like super embarrassed that I was crying on Marco Polo to my friends. And both of them were like, stop it right now. Because if we were in person, you would break down to us in person. So like, it's just a safe space to keep your community, to keep those important things alive. I just think it's great and I love it. And it should be a free app. I have the free version. Now I know a couple of people have logged into it and they have to do like a free 7-day trial. Now Lindsay will say, I know Lindsay, I'm already hearing you in my ear, like, go for a splurge, pay the $60, you get a transcript, you can fast forward. And I'm on the edge. I'm pretty close to like making the jump to the paid version, because that transcript is nice. When you have the free version, you only get like the first 3 sentences. because I know that apps these days are like, but we also don't want it to be free for you. So like after your free 7-day trial, it's just going to automatically charge you. So I'm sure there's got to be a workaround, or we'll try to figure out something and put it on the blog. I can't figure it out because I'm already in, but I'm going to see if I can get a helper to figure that out. But I highly recommend it if you want to stay in touch with your people in town, if you want to get back connected to the community that you had somewhere else. Like, this is just such a great way to like just get to see your people.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously we have big hearts for military families, single moms, any moms who are just in kind of those unconventional situations where maybe you are struggling to find community, or where you have to move around a lot, or really just any situation like that. And so I think that this is a really great tool. Like Annie said, stay connected to past communities so that when you are in a new place, let's say you are a military family and you have relocated and you don't know people, you're going to have lonely moments, right? And if you're a single mom and, you know, a lot of times if you're freshly divorced, maybe all of your friends went with your ex-husband, because a lot of times that happens, right? If you had mutual friends, or maybe like I did, you relocated to a completely different state and you don't know anyone or very few people. Right. And so while you are in the process of building a new community, because we 100% encourage that you get out there and do that, but while you're in that process, you can use tools like this to still stay connected to your past communities. And sometimes you might even like rekindle friendships with people that it's been a while since you've seen them.
Absolutely.
And this is a great way to do that, because sometimes you might run into someone and this tool didn't exist the last time you saw them. But if you're like, hey, do you have Marco Polo? We can keep in touch that way and just give it a try and see how it might affect your friendship. Because I know Annie has said that even with people that she already is close with, it has just changed their friendship in a positive way, because she hasn't been able to see them in person in a long time. And so getting to see those faces, like she said, has really just changed the dynamic with people that she hasn't gotten to see in person in a really long time.
Well, so in order to command chaos, we have to vent, right?
Yes.
And it's one thing to vent over the phone or over a text, but when you can see your people, when they can see you when you're venting and just like really connect, right? Like there's no better way to communicate with somebody than in person, right? Or face to face. And it just, I'm all about commanding the chaos. So this has been a big tool for that. So thank you, Lindsay, for making me get on board with this. She's like, I only communicate through Marco Polo. And I was like, okay, well, guess here we go. Yeah. I do not like this. I do not like looking at myself. Now, I will say it has helped tremendously in the interviewing department. Like, I might look like a scrub while I'm talking to Lindsay or Ericy or Alex, but it gets you feeling okay in front of a video. Like, so I'm looking for a remote job, right? Like most of my interview situations are going to be remote. Yeah. And so I feel like it's helped tremendously.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And one thing that actually right before recording, I mentioned to Annie, one of the reasons that I've struggled with it is because I do a lot of Zoom calls. I've done lives on Instagram before with clients, interviews, different things like that in the marketing world. I think I'm so used to having to look straight at the camera, talk to people, things like that, that whenever I was on Marco Polo, I said, I think I like voice apps better, you know, so I can just be sweeping the floor and not have to look straight at a camera. And I feel like it's kind of a little bit inconvenient for me. And so she was saying that like there's times where the camera is looking up at the ceiling while she's doing laundry, but she's still chatting. And I was trying to be too perfectionistic about it, because I'm thinking like, oh, okay, I'm talking to this person. I'm looking at it as like being face to face with them. And I wouldn't want you looking at my nostrils if I'm right in front of you. So
I'm looking at them right now.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I was definitely overthinking the app.
Totally overthinking it,
yes,
Katelynn.
For sure.
You gotta go down the path again.
Yes.
And you gotta give it another
I need to try it again, loosen up a little bit.
Because you have some really good friends still back in Oklahoma, right?
Yes.
And what a way to, I mean, okay, my challenge for you is you get your friend in Oklahoma to get Marco Polo.
Yep.
And you guys go do your thing for a
Yes.
week and tell me that it doesn't change your life. And then I'll say, okay, fine, Katelynn.
Yeah.
You do not have to do it.
Yes.
But I don't know. I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah.
So
No.
community is everything, right? And so
It
we
is.
hang on to them as long as we can, as hard as we can. And this is just, I don't know, real time, best advice I can give for keeping those long distance and even short distance.
Absolutely.
Friendships alive.
So challenge accepted. I
Yes.
will reach out to my bestie in Oklahoma, Casey. And yeah, we tried to touch base, but I swear it ends up being like 3 months sometimes, or...
Oh, yeah. My best friend, Raina, she's out in New York. And I actually just sent her a message. I'm going to have to record a video on Marco Polo and send it to her because she's busy. She's got 4 kids. But I think that it will change that we don't talk for months. We just have this mutual, like, it's cool. We'll just pick up wherever we left off. So much time passes. And I don't know. I'm going to put it to the test. I'm going to try to get her to Marco Polo. So Raina, get ready.
Same thing happens with Casey and I. It's like we go forever without talking. And then we also have that same mutual thing. Like neither one of us ever takes it personally. But then once you do get a chance to talk, we both are just like word vomiting, right? Because there's so much to catch up on, and it feels so rushed sometimes, and we're trying to like catch those moments when, my kid is not interrupting every 5 seconds and her husband is not home because they have limited time, I'm sure, together when, their life is not chaotic. So yeah, I think that I will definitely take the challenge and I will try it with her and see how it goes. I'm hoping that a lot of our listeners will find it to be valuable as well. I asked Annie's permission to shout out a few other options here in case there's anybody.
We just want you to stay connected with your people because it's so important.
Exactly. Like connection and community with people who can support you through your chaos is one of our biggest tips, right? Like,
absolutely.
That's what we're here for, is to give you tips and tricks to command the chaos of your life and to find joy in the chaos. We all have chaos. We
can't avoid it.
We just want to give good tips. And so this is a fantastic tip to have community, stay in touch with that community. And so if you find that you don't like Marco Polo, that video is hard for you, there are a few other options. Maybe you've heard of them. I really like Voxer.
The walkie-talkie app, right?
Yeah, it's more like a walkie-talkie. You don't have to be on video. So that one I find a little bit easier to use and to adapt to. There is a free version on that one as well. I believe you can get a paid version and have transcripts and things like that too.
Sure.
And then also like a few friends of mine, they'll just send me like a voice memo on Facebook Messenger. So a few friends just prefer to kind of use that. And then sometimes getting on a group Zoom call or Google Meet or something is nice with family or friends. I know people did that a lot during COVID, but that obviously is a video one. But just something that if you are going to do a book club and you want to have a monthly meeting or something like that, then obviously that's a tool. But these apps where you can just do it on the go are super, super helpful.
Game changer.
So I really love the voice ones that you can just do really easily. But I mean, this Marco Polo thing, it's really easy too. I just need to adapt the way I'm using it and not take it so seriously.
Accept your challenge.
I don't have to publish the videos anywhere.
That's right. Well, if you are part of our community and you want to comment on using Marco Polo or using any one of these other apps that we mentioned, we would love to hear your stories. And if you're new to the game and it changes your friendships and your community dynamic, we would also love to hear about that, because I think, we can say what we like to do, but if other people are saying the same thing, then it just shares that joy with people who may be on the fence to connect in that way.
Absolutely. And speaking of community and friendships and connection, we saved our song for the end this time. We felt it was appropriate to wait. So if you are enjoying following along with our playlist, which is very eclectic, we have a good one for you this time.
Yeah, we're going to put Home by Philip Phillips on that playlist. So we just felt like that was a sweet little song about how our friends make us feel like home, right? Like friends are home and community is home, no matter where that home is. So we are super glad that you listened in today. We can't wait to give you more tips and tricks in the next episode.
All right, Chaos Crew, that's a wrap for today. If you loved this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your fellow commanders.
Don't forget, we're all in this together. Join the conversation in our Chaos Commanders community on Instagram and Facebook, where we keep it real, raw, and ridiculously fun.
Remember, our fears establish the limits of our lives, so go push past them.
And always leave others better than you found them.